You wouldn't happen to be traveling to the town of Hakoshae, would you? I'm investigating a rumor about the town's leader, Magnate Faina Darok. Word has it that she's a descendant of the Akaviri potentate. A rather curious rumor, given that the potentate's bloodline should have been wiped out over a century ago. It's a personal matter pertaining to my grandfather's legacy. Painful as it is to say, my family's reputation depends on proving this rumor false. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you? I could use a lending hand. Why don't you begin by speaking to the lady in question? The magnate should be in the town square. Strike up a conversation and see what she reveals. In the meantime, I'll begin my own investigation. See what I can dig up. As an agent of the Morag Tong, my grandfather had the honor of executing the last remaining heir of the Akaviri potentate. But here's the tricky bit. My grandfather and the heir both disappeared during the attempt. The Morag Tong presumed them dead. If Magnate Faina Darok truly is the descendant of the potentate, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that my grandfather failed. And such failure would be a grave dishonor to my family name. That's why I'm keen to prove this rumor false. Hakoshae was built after the fall of the Akaviri potentate. It's been, let's see now, a little over 100 years now? Yes, right around that. The town was founded by the Akaviri refugees who fled during that time. Potentate Vesidushe began his political career as advisor to Emperor Riemann III. When the Emperor was assassinated, the potentate stepped up as Cyrodiil's leader. Very fortunate for Vesidushe, of course. He was Emperor in all but name. So goes the rumors, though nothing was ever proven. Unsurprisingly, an Akaviri on the Ruby Throne created conflict. The potentate was eventually assassinated himself. A few decades later, his heir was similarly slain. The Morag Tong, of course. Who else would be so competent? Following the death of potentate Severian Chorak and his heirs, a large number of Akaviri and their followers left Cyrodiil. Many wound up here and elsewhere. The Akaviri come from the land of Akavir, a continent east of Tamriel. They first invaded Tamriel in the First Era, but were ultimately convinced to join the Empire. Hakoshae is populated by their descendants. Yes, the Akaviri took the fall of the potentate as a rather obvious sign that they were no longer welcomed in Cyrodiil. Many of them fled to elsewhere. Hakoshae is but one of the settlements that was founded. I suppose that's a matter of perspective. After all, generations of imperial marriages have considerably thinned the bloodline. Still, Hakoshae does strive to maintain Akaviri culture and customs, starting with the town's rather distinct name.
Watching you harvest is exciting. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that.
Aren't you off in a hurry? Heading to Surindar's Cradle? I hope you brought your own water skin. Or you could buy one off me. My rates are reasonable, given the drought. Water, or rather the lack of it. Something stopped the flow from the aqueduct to Serendar's cradle. I've been hauling water for them in the meantime, but they can't keep this up forever. Don't know. Old stones, old gates and levers, who can say for sure? I overheard the adepts discussing the trouble. A young one, Vosby, seems keen to solve the issue. If you want to know more, she's the person to ask.
We must do something about the water, Silujo. If you would just...
No adept can face the wastes alone, child. This one insists you stay. Silujo has misgivings. Many misgivings about letting young Vosby investigate the aqueduct. The spirits sing of your strength. This one finds some peace in that, at least. Please, just keep a close eye on her. Vosby is precious to Silujo.
Vosby cannot understand. Only puddles remain in the Adeptorium cisterns, but still Silujo forbids this one to act. Our Adeptorium, Srendar's Cradle, is parched by a drought. We rely on the Anequina aqueduct to supply our water, but something halted the flow. Now adepts and pilgrims go thirsty. We tend to the sick here. Without water, many of them may die. No, and we never will if Silujo gets his way. He yowls about the risks, but Vosby is not the saucer-eyed kitten she was when Silujo found her. This one must fix this. You're a warrior, yes? Would you escort Vosby to investigate the aqueduct? Thank you for helping, Rook. We should investigate the nearest gate of the aqueduct, just south of here. Srendar willing, we will find whatever blocks the water there. Vosby will meet you soon. This one must speak to Silujo before she leaves. No. My teachers examined the Order's histories and found no evidence of droughts in the past. But we live in curious times, yes? Dragons fly, dead walk. A broken aqueduct would not seem out of place. Vosby does not think so. Before the water reaches Srendar's Cradle, it passes Rimen. And for all the city's problems, a drought is not one of them. That means the flow is blocked somewhere between the city and the Adeptorium. The Adeptorium itself? I know only that our ancestors built it in the days of 16 kingdoms. Vosby has no ears for ancient history. This one does know that the Adeptorium has always been a place of healing, a refuge for all, no matter how ill. We do what we can, but Vosby fears it is not enough. Many come with seared flesh and blackened lungs, from the flames and smoke, you see. Others come with broken limbs. Most of our palliatives and salves require water, so you see the urgency, yes? About Vosby? Oh, this one's life is not so exciting, but if you insist. Vosby is an initiate and servant of Srendar. A healer in training also. Silujo and the other monks raised this one here in the Cradle. Most learn the craft, but not all have the passion for it that this one does. Silujo says it is Vosby's calling. This one thinks he is right. Yes, Vasby's parents had... This was in the time of the flu, you see. Many orphans came to Srenda's cradle in those days. Most of them were not as lucky as Vasby. Silujo cared for this one like a daughter. He still does, as you can see. No, this was not so long ago, Walker. You remember the groans and hacking coughs, yes? The blood? Srenda's cradle's adepts healed as many as they could, but even the strongest tinctures and cleanest bandages fell short in the face of the flu. I found it. We should examine the gate at the top of the ramp. We should find the gate that controls the flow of the water nearby. Just be careful. Beasts gather here often to lap up water from leaks and overflow. They thirst as much as we do now, and a thirsty beast is a grumpy beast, yes? Vasby has great teachers. This one is no architect. But the aqueduct behaves much like structures of the body, yes? Veins and arteries channel blood and have valves to limit flow, for example. I wonder what else healing can teach me. Open and dry, as expected. Hopefully we'll find the blockage at the second gate. Busby hopes we can find the problem soon. Otherwise, we may have to investigate the Bandar Span. A portion of the aqueduct that runs through Bandar's litter. A canyon to the east of the Adeptorium. Silujo forbids us to go there, ever since this one was a Jakajit. Old moon tales. Clan mothers say the stone pillars of the canyon were Bandar's children. Elkosh turned them to stone as a reprisal for one of the bandit god's pranks. The trickster hid the pillars in this canyon where they would be warm and safe. Vasby does not know. She has, at times, heard whispers from the older adepts. Something about the Nahatan flu. This one asked Silujo outright about the place years ago. He only shook his head and said it was far, far from Srenda's light. Vasby will be right behind you, but be careful, Walker. Silujo can be overprotective, but he would not resort to lies to hold us back. The dangers of the wastes are real, as you know. Truly, I hate to worry him, but Vasby must do this. Follow the line of the aqueduct east. It should lead you straight to the next gate. Vasby will meet you there. Ha! You protect me by clearing the way, Walker. This one wants to take a moment to study this gate, in case we must fix one later. Vasby will be safe. You will stop worrying, yes?
We're dangerous, huh? This is so fascinating.
Caught you! Vasby is a quick study, yes? Oh, come on! Let's examine this new gate. dry. This full. Wait, what is this? Curious. This scrap of cloth. Vasby knows it well. It is part of a Srendar adept's habit. One of the old ones we don't wear anymore. Could an adept have been out here? Vasby does not think anyone wore it. The way it is torn, it looks like someone used it to dress a wound. Do you see the stains? This one smells blood, too. A warning, perhaps. Or a clue. Maybe. Vasby is no investigator, but finding something like this near the gate feels like a sign. We should find the person, if only to make sure they are not badly hurt, yes? We could start by searching around the columns that hold the aqueduct up. Someone gravely injured may have rested in the structure's shadow. No time to waste, Walker. Let's go. Certain. After the worst of the Nahatan flu had passed, Saludjo and the others burned every scrap of cloth touched by the illness. Quilts, linens, and yes, even their habits. Nothing remained of them, aside from paintings in the cloisters. It appears that way, yes. Come, whoever this belonged to may need our help.
Want to die?
Another shred of a habit? The blood seems more spotty. From a sword, maybe. Let's keep looking.
Try to keep moving.
This is a nursery rhyme, isn't it? Like the one Vasby read every night as a kitten. Srendar's mercy. Please hurry, Walker! Swaddlecloth? Vasby recognizes that pattern. Come, let's keep looking, come! And we find a death coin lost, of course. Something that gleams to take to the sands behind the stars. We should talk. The bloody bandages, the cameo, and swaddlecloth. All these trinkets and mementos lead to a forbidden place. Bandar's litter. Vasby has not been totally honest with you, Walker. This one has a very personal stake in this business. The drought. It's because of me. That is why Vasby insisted on being the one to investigate. Every year, on this one's birthday, someone leaves a gift outside the cloisters. Gifts like the nursery rhyme, coin, and cameo we found, you see? Days after the aqueduct ran dry, the gift giver left a jug of cold, fresh water outside this one's door. It was a message, you see, for Vasby. Now we find these dressings and keepsakes, all leading to Bandar's litter. Our answers are there. Old ghosts haunt this place. Angry spirits that moan and howl curses in the night. Silujo always insisted we stay away. I hate to disobey him, but we have no choice. The last sluice gate and the person we pursue are both inside. Are you prepared? Wait! Vasby saw someone! Why do they run? We do not mean them any harm.
Who are you? Where is Vasby, beloved child? Finally, you have come home at last.
Beloved, what? I don't... We only want to restore the water.
Water? No, no, no. You come for answers, child. Answers from ashes. Take her to our camp at the Bandar Gate. Kill the other and cleanse him in flame. The scouring fire will claim Sarindar's cradle soon enough.
Quickly! Over here! Silujo saw everything. We must save Vasby. Quickly, please! I may not be Vasby's father, but I feel a father's love for her. What parent would let their child wander the Kaj with a stranger? Silujo followed at a distance, but could not stop Vasby in time. The stricken cats took her deeper into the canyon. The flu. Time heals some wounds and causes others to fester. Sometimes even the greatest healer cannot see all ends. Forgive me. Silujo is an old cat. He rambles. We must go to the Bandar Gate to halt the flames and save my Vasby. There is a cavern deep within the litter. If memory serves, it ascends to the Bandar Gate. We will find the aqueduct blockage and Vasby there. Come, we must hurry. Silujo will try to make these sick, scarred cats see reason. To cure a sickness, a healer must know the ailment's cause. Old hatreds are not so different. We lose time discussing this. Have faith that all will proceed as Srendar wishes. These sick, scarred, you see, we call them the stricken. After the Nahati flu ravaged their bodies, the people of elsewhere cast them out. They came to Srendar's cradle once for healing, but the king's vizier would have put up a torch if he knew we harbored the sick.
I was just getting started.
You should know the reason they hate us. They wish to burn our home because they cast them into Bandar's litter to die.
That bag isn't something valuable. Something useless, or a body part inside.
The stricken are the ghosts of my past, of the Cradle's past. Silujo hoped that time and seclusion might let them heal on their own, but that was always a fool's hope. The sickness made its way to their souls and festered there. In the days of the flu, chaos reigned. Many came to Threndar's cradle seeking healing. But fear followed the flu. With so many of the ill huddled in our adeptorium, the people saw it as a breeding ground for more sickness. The Sutabi, the king's vizier, marched on the adeptorium and threatened us with torch and sword. If the sick remained in the cradle, he vowed to burn it to ash. So I ushered the sick and dying here to Bandar's litter and left them to die. They had no choice. We had no choice. When you tend to the sick for as long as Silujo has, you cannot help but grow detached. Callous, even. If I kept the sick with us, many healthy Khajiit would die. Khajiit, like Vasby. Vasby's parents came to us, carrying her in swaddling clothes. They were both near death, or so I thought. But Vasby, their child, was healthy as the spring. What could this one do? Her parents had no chance, but she did. I took her in, raised her.
Hey, a bag! Go on, peek inside. Anything valuable in there?
Wait, Silujo must speak to you. Before we go further, we must speak. The Bandar Gate lies beyond that door. The Stricken's leader as well, Vasby's true father. His love and sorrow has turned to hatred for me. Silujo has no illusions. Death waits for this one through this passage, for the actions of his past. In the days of the flu, chaos reigned. Many came to Threndar's cradle seeking healing. They had no... Vasby's parents came to us, carrying her in swaddling clothes. Silujo does not fear this death, if it will save Vasby. Before it happens, though, this one must ask. You now know the story of Threndar's cradle, of the sick left to die. When this one is gone, Vasby will have questions. What will you tell her? Silujo thanks you, Walker. Choosing who lives and who dies weighs on the soul, but as a healer and a leader, I must make hard decisions. If Silujo had to do it all over again, he would make the same choice. Now come, Vasby waits.
Silujo, no! This is my fault! Srendar, forgive me! He breathes, but faintly. Vasby will take him back to the cradle. My hands won't stop shaking. The Striken's leader, Hulzar, wields horrible magic. He told me that the adepts took me from him, that they stole everything from him. He said Yes, he said he left me gifts so that I would not forget him. But seeing me grow closer to Silujo, closer to the Order, twisted his tail to the breaking point. He lured Vasby here to Banda's litter. Now he plans to burn the Adeptorium. Please, Walker, if there is any way to spare Hulzar, have mercy. Vasby knows he is mad, but to lose two fathers at once. Srendar, help me. This one is so lost. Moons. Why did Silujo come here? He must have known the Stricken would kill him. This one only needed saving because she disobeyed Silujo. He came here because of Vasby. He dies because of Vasby. This one knows. Hulza told me about how he and his wife, my mother, came to the cradle with a tiny Vasby in their arms. He described the long march to Bandar's litter and the cold, moonless nights that followed. More suffering on my account. How could it not be Vasby's fault? Had Hulza's wife not carried Vasby in her womb, they never would have come to Srendar's cradle. Had Vasby not sought to restore the water, Silujo would live. Please, just find Hulzar. Vasby must work.
Think you can keep me from my vengeance? Come thee. Vasby, I'm sorry.
You return. Good. Vasby already loses too much today. Silujo did not... Vasby could not... He is gone. His soul wanders the sands behind the stars now. The other adepts mourn for him as Vasby does, but they do not know the truth of his death or the cost of the water you restored. But you know. Vasby knows, and it may be too much for her to bear. Vasby loved this place. She idolized Silujo and the other healers. She prayed to Srendar for the strength and wisdom to serve as well as those who came before. But Srendar's cradle is a lie. My dream is a lie. What is Vasby to do now? The people of elsewhere think that the adepts of the cradle worked miracles to stave off the flu. Now I see that they only hid the sick in the wilderness to let them die. How can this one just ignore that? How can I dedicate my life to such a place? Yes, this one will stay. But I will not lie about what happened here. Silujo made an impossible choice, but the people deserve to hear the truth. Thank you, Walker. We only just met, but you are the closest thing to family that Vasby has left. Brothers, sisters, Vasby must speak about Silujo's passing. Before he passed, this one learned the truth of the stricken, of the role we healers played in their suffering. No longer. In Shrendar's name, we must go to Bandar's litter. We must help the stricken, and we must try to heal this age-old wound, for their sake and for ours. Vasby has much to do. At the very least, I must find the names of the 6 guard we left to die in Bandar's litter. If any of their kin remain, they should know what happened here. I always have a moment for you, though. Other than researching this business of the stricken? Well, there are linens to clean and tinctures to make and... Oh, who am I kidding? We all need time to mourn. The loss of Silujo. It's like the heart being ripped from the body. I know. Thank you. Afterward, yes. Research and making amends, I think. Many of the stricken remain in Bandar's litter. Vasby does not know if supplies and shelter will soothe their anger, but we must try to make them whole again. Vasby thanks you, friend, for everything.
Keep that close to you. A pickpocket will make a killing off something like that. Make sure there aren't any traps.
I haven't been able to sleep all week. Please, can't you do something?
Of course. I'll have the town guards investigate tonight.
Thank you, Magnate Feynadarak.
And who do we have here? Come, let us speak.
I haven't been able to sleep all week. Please, can't you do something?
Of course. I'll have the town guards investigate tonight.
Thank you, Magnate Feynadarak.
And who do we have here? Come, let us speak. Welcome to the town of Hakoshae. I must say it is not often I see a new face. Have you perhaps come to take part in our festival? The Proving Festival, yes. Through a series of trials, the people of Hakoshae must prove themselves to their ancestors. We do so by completing 3 trials, otherwise known as the 3 proofs. First, the proof of reference calls on our ancestors to witness our deeds. Second, the proof of strength displays our might and bravery. Lastly, the proof of wisdom tests our knowledge and wit. Through these trials, we show our worth. Of course, I'm sure you too have ancestors you wish to honor. First, you must speak with Domitia Nasica. You'll find her just by the river. Listen well to her words, for she will guide you through your first trial. Let me know if you have any other questions. I realize that Hakoshae can be quite the curiosity for travelers such as yourself. Though Hakoshae is known for its Akaviri ancestry, the truth is that our imperial bloodline runs far richer. Still, we honor our Akaviri ancestors by maintaining some of their customs. The Proving Festival is a shining example of that. The Proving Festival has not been celebrated since Hakoshae was first founded. I didn't even know it existed until I found a first-hand account of the festival in my family's records. It's been quite the challenge getting everyone up to speed. I'm not sure. Perhaps the town just wasn't interested in celebrations when Hakoshae was first founded. They were refugees, after all. You can read about it yourself if you're so inclined. I happen to have the book with me. Nothing to worry about. Domitia just hasn't been sleeping well. She believes there's something prowling around her house at night. I suspect it to be just bad dreams. Of course, I'd never dismiss a citizen who seeks my aid. Having the town guards investigate will help ease Domitia's fears. That alone may be enough to stop her nightmares. And if the dreams continue, I'll make sure she's seen by a healer. Though Hakoshae is known for its Akaviri ancestry, I hold the title of Magnet, though I have no emperor who supports me. Still, my family has led Hakoshae since its founding, and chose to take the title to reflect that role. It has been my honor to lead this town for over 10 years now. Because it was our family who founded it. My ancestors wished to create a place of safety and peace, where Akaviri traditions could continue to be passed down and honored. A goal I still strive to respect to this day. Yes, as is my family's tradition. We tend to keep closer to our Akaviri heritage than most. I even speak a little of the language, though I suspect my accent is quite atrocious.
Oh, you're that traveler I saw earlier. Do you need something? Truly? That was certainly nice of her. Your first step is to complete the Proof of Reverence. This trial allows us to call upon our ancestors to watch over us, as we prove ourselves worthy of their name. With this paper lotus, write the names of your honored ancestors on its petals, and place the lotus in the river. This will allow it to float into the afterlife. Think of it like a calling card, a way to get your ancestors to pay attention. Return to me when you've completed your task. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions you may have. This is Hakoshae's first proving festival in over a century, after all. I'm sure you're just as curious as everyone else. Excited, of course. Honestly, I'm shocked we gave up the tradition in the first place. No one even remembered the festival existed until the magnate found an old record about it. Our town doesn't have much wealth or power, but we do take pride in our ancestry. Learning about our Akaviri culture and celebrating it is important to us. And the Proving Festival is the perfect way to do just that. Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must first get their attention. The paper lotus acts as a ceremonial letter of sorts. By placing it into the river, we allow it to be carried into the realm of the dead. Yes, it is. The Akaviri believe that all waterways connect the realms of the living and dead. There are many folktales about boats being lost in heavy fog, and landing on shores filled with restless spirits. I used to, when I was little. Whenever I would go jump in a puddle, my mother would yell, "Stop that! You'll fall right into the afterlife." Truthfully, though, she just didn't want my dress to get muddy. Through this proof, you have shown reverence. Well done. Next is the proof of strength. You'll need to... I'm sorry. I'm just so tired today. There's been a lot of strange noises at night lately, and I haven't slept very well. You overheard that? Ah, well, yes. I've started hearing noises at night. Heavy breathing, uneven footsteps that seem to shuffle about. At first I thought I was dreaming it all, but now I am not too sure. I don't, though the magnate has promised to send a patrol out tonight. Hopefully they'll find whatever it is. But you've got a proof to complete. Head over to Vectrasi for your next task. He's just a little ways west of here, right up the hill. Good luck with the proof of strength, and let me know if you need anything.
What can I do for you, traveler? You wish to prove yourself before your ancestors. Very well. To the north lies a cave wherein beautiful sugar daisies grow. Bring me one, and you will have proved your strength. Ah, didn't I mention? The cave also happens to be a cinch lion lair, and I doubt the beasts will be particularly fond of your intrusion. Best of luck, traveler. Make sure to keep your senses about you. Cinch lions aren't beasts to take lightly. The Akaviri have always placed a great emphasis on martial prowess. The proof of strength shows our ancestors that we remain strong and are prepared to face any danger that may befall us. The greatest. Akaviri warriors are known for both their might and magic. It was only because of their aid that General Riemann was able to pacify all of Tamriel under his rule. Why, it was Akaviri who founded the Dragon Guard. Proud warriors who formed the Dragonborn Riemann's personal guard. Unfortunately, they seem to have disbanded after the Akaviri potentate fell. I still think they're around, though, waiting for their moment to return.
Is it over?
Don't underestimate us. I love watching the big tough ones fall. You were amazing!
You have the look of victory about you. Tell me, were you successful? Most impressive. I'd say you've certainly made your ancestors proud. Good thing, too. Wouldn't want any unhappy spirits mucking about Hakoshae. They'd bring all sorts of misfortune. Quite right. It's part of why honoring our ancestors is so important. Happy ancestors gift their descendants with good fortune. Wrathful ancestors, well, they do just the opposite. They curse us with misery, desolation, even death. Yes, death. Of course, you'd need to perform a great dishonor for such a punishment. Not that you have to worry about that. You've proven both your reverence and strength. Now, it's time to test your wit. Head to the town square and speak to Valoria. Don't dawdle now. The proof of wisdom awaits you back in Hakoshae.
There's only so much you can learn by dueling old man Vectrussi. If I'm ever to become a skilled warrior, I need to get out there. You're a traveler, right? You get it. The only way I'm going to get stronger is by leaving this place behind.
Why, if it isn't our town's mysterious stranger. Magnet Fena Derak told me all about your participation. Have you completed the first 2 proofs? Excellent, excellent. Then you are ready for the proof of wisdom. I am most useful when empty. I am most generous when full. What am I? Of course. What better way to show your wisdom? The riddle describes one of the items on this table. Choose the correct item and bring it to me. Only then will you pass the trial. Best of luck, dear. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Throughout Akaviri history, the proof of wisdom has been performed in a number of ways. Scholars draft grand essays, writers compose ornate poems, philosophers perform lengthy debates. But for Hakoshae, we went with riddles. The people of Hakoshae are simple folk, and our great scholars are few and far between. A modest trial keeps morale up, while still honoring our ancestors. However, we did get a few essay submissions for the Magnate to review. Of course, just like the rest of her family. Every Akaviri text we have is safely contained within the Magnate's home, and she makes sure to study them. Even teaches the young ones a bit of the language. I am most useful when empty. I am most generous when full. What am I? You've returned. Tell me, what item did you bring? Yes, that is indeed the answer. Oh, I'm just so happy you guessed correctly. I was a little worried my riddle was too obscure. I had hoped Magnate Faina Darak would provide a riddle, but she's had her hands full with the festival. Poor thing. She just has a lot riding on her shoulders. We're all seeking to honor our ancestors. But the Magnate's ancestors are a bit, harder to live up to. I'm sure it's created a good deal of stress. May your ancestors be pleased by your actions, traveler.
Enjoying the festival, are we? I'm sure you've heard a great deal about Akaviri culture today, but tell me, did you learn anything about the Magnate herself? Everything you've learned seems to support the rumor. A descendant of the potentate would certainly be given such privileges. However, my investigation calls for more concrete proof. A document would be best. I've made some inquiries of my own. It seems that Magnate Faina Darak has quite a few records in the cellar of her home. We'll need to break in and search her documents. We need a key, and I'm positive the captain of the guard carries one. If you would do me the kindness of chatting him up for a bit, I'll do my best to obtain the key. Should all go well, we'll be in and out before anyone notices. Very well. Let's get moving then.
Look there. That's the one what bested Captain Blackheart. Greetings. Say, aren't you the traveler who joined the Proving Festival? Are you now? Well, that's certainly an impressive feat. Honestly, this whole affair has been nerve-wracking for me. I'm not too keen on dishonoring my ancestors. Who knows what misfortune would befall me? To be honest, barely. The first two proofs were easy enough. Threw a paper lotus in the river, grabbed a sugar daisy for Vecdrasi. But that last proof, well, it stumped me. Couldn't for the life of me figure out the riddle. I'll admit it, I had a little help. Magnate Faina Darak gave me a hint. She's a gracious lady, our Magnate. Always helping out folks in need. I'm not sure how Hakoshae would fare without her.
Glad you could make it. Quickly now, let's head inside. Well, head on in before anyone notices. Well, that's certainly odd. There must be something here to take down that barrier. I'm willing to bet those tablets would fit rather nicely into these sockets on the floor. Well, that certainly wasn't right. Care to try again? Looks like that did it. Let's head in. The magnate left a letter on her desk. Interesting, don't you think? Seems this letter confirms that the magnate is descended from the potentate. What a pity.
Just what are you two doing here? Get out at once!
Traitor! How dare you claim to be of my blood?
What? What's happening? Please, no!
Vegetal. Well, it seems we've confirmed that Faina Darak is a descendant of the potentate. Just in time for her to be whisked away by some vengeful spirit. Just my luck. Isn't that part of the Akaviri's beliefs? Disrespect your ancestors and they'll have their revenge. And given the spirit's armor, he was definitely Akaviri. Huh. Makes me wonder what the magnate did to deserve such a fate. I'm not sure, but it's as good a guess as any. Given the turn of events, we'd best go after them. Perhaps the local tombs? If I know ghosts, they don't often wander far from their graves. Some Akaviri is so upset with the magnate that he's returned from the dead. And if I'm to see this investigation through to the end, I need to learn why. Let's head to the tombs. It's just east of the town square. Can't miss it. Glad you could make it. I see them, just up ahead.
Still you hunt me, assassin scum? Was my death not enough?
This disappearing act is getting very old, very fast. He seems to think that I was the Mer who assassinated him. Could be a simple case of mistaken identity. After all, my mother always did tell me I bear a striking resemblance to my grandfather, Methistarum. As a member of the Morag Tong, my grandfather executed a great number of people. But, given the location and the armor the spirit wears, let's move ahead. I have a feeling we'll get our answers soon enough. Best if we split up and go our separate ways. Proconsul Balorin Kai, I presume?
Very good, assassin scum. You and your companion have been most insistent. Come, let us speak. Fena Derok has called my spirit to judge her. By her quill, my name was written. By her hands, the paper lotus placed. And so I have come to punish her wickedness. And yet you try to stop me. Who are you to deny me my revenge? When I escaped Cyrodiil, I had but one man to protect me. Someone I placed my utmost faith in, my utmost trust. Lieutenant Line Bardwick. But when it came time to guard me from my Morag Tong assassin, my protector fled. Yes. Though not before I was able to inflict a mortal wound myself. Both I and my assassin died that day. But not Line Bardwick. He looted my corpse and claimed my name. It was he who founded Hakoshae, not I. Her family continued to spread the lies of my betrayer. For centuries, they have proclaimed themselves nobility. But all they have inherited is lies. She must renounce her title and tell her people the truth. Only then will I be content. Go then, and convince Faina Darak to speak the truth. Only that will save her. The Proving Festival is a time for the Akaviri people to commune with their ancestors. Not only does it allow the dead to view the living world, it also invites us to cross over. Faina Darak called me to judge her. I have come to do so. And so I did not kill her, as I attempted to kill Line Bardwick when first this festival was held. My lieutenant also summoned me by our ancient rites, though he did not realize this. I was compelled to cross over and judge his wicked ways. Line Bardwick was a strong mage in his own right. He cast me away. For centuries I have waited for another Proving Festival, but I suspect that Line Bardwick took precautions against my return. But now, at last, the truth can be revealed.
I can't believe it. The founder of Hakoshae, my ancestor, he lied? You don't understand. To admit such a horrid truth wouldn't just dishonor me. It would dishonor my entire family. All of my ancestors, who have done such great things for Hakoshae, they'll all be disgraced. How can I do that? No. I don't want to keep lying. The citizens of Hakoshae deserve nothing but my complete honesty, even if it comes at the cost of my family's reputation. I'll do it. Ancestors, forgive me, but I'll tell everyone the truth.
I'll be watching, Faina Darak, waiting for you to speak the truth.
I'll keep my word.
Well, seems like it's time to get going then. I'll meet you in the town square. It seems my investigation has come to an end. The rumor was false, my family name is cleared, and no one even needed to be executed. A happy ending all around, wouldn't you say? The Morag tongue isn't one to leave loose threads, even one that's been dangling for over a century. Luckily for Faina Darak, my grandfather was able to complete his writ. Here, a reward for services rendered. Now, despite our daring rescue, I'm certain the Magnate doesn't want a member of the Morag Tong hanging about. Though it does look like she's about to make her big announcement, doesn't it? Well, perhaps I'll stick around long enough to watch. If I had to. My preference was always to prove this rumor false, of course. Still, a writ is a writ. If my grandfather failed to do his duty, then I would have done it for him. Simple. My grandfather was following a writ which called for the death of Potentate Severian Shorak and all his heirs. Had Faina Darak been a descendant of the proconsul, her execution would also fall under this writ. Naturally. I'll let the Morag Tong know your feelings soon as I'm back in Morrowind. I'm sure they're just dying to hear your opinion. The Morag Tong is an organization of assassins. Agents are assigned writs of execution, perform said executions, and then go along the merry way. That's the long and short of it in any case. I'd ask you not to compare us to those lunatics. Our practices, morbid as they may seem, are perfectly legal and keeping with dark elf traditions. I kill only who I am sanctioned to kill.
My family has long claimed to be descended from the Potentate. But this is not the truth. The man who founded the town, my ancestor, was a traitor. He betrayed Proconsul Baloran Kai and stole his name. My family's legacy is only a lie. I revoke my title as Magnate. And should you decide it, I will leave Hakoshae forever. This dishonor is mine to bear, and I accept it.
No! We still want you to be our Magnate!
You're an honorable woman, Faina Darak.
You deserve to lead this town.
Everyone, thank you. Thank you so much.
Finally, I am a vet.
Greetings, traveler. I hope you're doing well. Honestly, I'm still wrapping my head around it all. My entire life, I thought that I was a descendant of the Potentate. To realize that was a lie is... well, it's hard. But I'm still Faina Darak. I know who I am, and so too do my people. Yes, for as long as Hakoshae will have me. And even if that changes, I'll still do my best to help this town however I can. This is my home, no matter who my ancestors were or were not. I realize that now.